To me, I sat back and I realized, I said, it's not even a content creator thing, it's a human thing.
Hello, everybody. This is Rebel. Hey, welcome to the Nation Underground podcast. Tonight we have got some real talk. We're going to be doing some real talk. This tonight is going to be a series of several mental health streams that we're going to be doing for the month of January. So I hope you guys be very respectful. And I just want to give a quick disclaimer that this is going to be a trigger warning because it is a mental health stream. So please, if you are struggling with anything or if you're going through with anything, there is a number listed right there. Please call that and get some help. There's also going to be some other information in the description of the video that you are more than welcome to call if you need any help. Also, I want to give one more thing is we are not psychologists. The things you hear tonight are straight from the source of the creator. This is stuff that has happened to them personally, stuff they are dealing with, things that they have overcome. And we are doing this to provide information to you, the viewer, and the listener, some information that might help you along the way. With that thought, that means this is not nowhere to be taken as personal advice or any type of advice to help you with the issues you are dealing with. If you are dealing with issues, if you are dealing with mental health, suicide, anything like that, alcoholism, addiction, please call the numbers that we put in the description and they will direct you and they will help you as much as they possibly can. Now that we got that out of the way and everybody understands, let's get on with the show. We're going to be talking with TaylorTakedown tonight. She is a dear friend of mine that I met a few years ago. She has been on the show once before talking about her content creating career. Tonight we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, of course. She has gone through some trials and tribulations throughout her life, and she's going to discuss that with us and share that information with us. So be very respectful of her, and I hope it helps you. But let's get on with the show. So Taylor, why don't you tell us a little bit, has there been anything that you've gone through in the last 4 years or 5 years of your content creating career that has shaped you today to be the person you are today?
It's a lot. I've struggled with a lot behind the scenes. I mean, so I've been doing streaming for 5 years. And a lot of people that have been around in my community or even just know who I am probably relates me with alcohol from my alcoholism problem when I started. So that was a big problem. Not only did I face in front of a lot of people because you can see me on camera, and I don't hide anything. That was something that my friends could see. On top of alcoholism, I struggled with, obviously, the content creation world is brutal and there's a lot of fake people, and people will weasel their way into your community and make you think that they are something that they're not. So there's a lot of heartbreak involved in content creation, and that's the one thing people don't really talk about is like it's a revolving door. People come, people go. I've had, my own mods or people that I've trust that I find out, are in Xbox party chats talking about me or whatever. But to my face, they're my friend, they're whatever. And to me, sometimes I'm oblivious. Sometimes I can sniff out the bullshit. I'm only human. I can only sniff out so much bullshit. Some of these people, listen, some of y'all are fucking good at what you do. You fooled me.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot to deal with mentally when you're content creation. A lot of things that people don't see, maybe long distance relationships. I've been through a few of those that have failed. I, was stalked by an ex for a few years.
Oh, wow.
And that's kind of hard to deal with because you can't get away from it. You can't run. You're on the internet and they can find you no matter what. They can be blocked on Twitter, but they can still see your Twitter. They can be blocked on Twitch. They can still open that stream and they can still watch you. So there's that uncomfortable feeling of, people that you don't want to see your every move, watching your every move. It drains your mental health. It destroys you. You have, fake friendships. And it's a lot of getting beaten down behind the scenes. A lot of, and I don't do this anymore, but I did for the first couple years of my content creation career. I was very big on numbers. How many viewers do I have? How many subs do I have? How many likes is my tweet going to get today? You know what I mean? Like, am I posting the right thing on Twitter to get likes? And you weigh so much in your mind based off of every single number that you see, whether it's a TikTok video or a clip that you've posted or a tweet. And that just drains so many content creators' mental health. I know, I speak for myself, but I know so many people have gone through that same thing. I was having a conversation in my Discord with my community the other night, and one of, a lot of us are older. We call ourselves the geriatric community. No offense to my friends, but you guys all know we're all older. A lot of my community's in their 40s, their 50s, whatever. It's
Yeah.
just we're real people and we're an older community because we don't deal with that dramatic high school bullshit. So it's kind of the community builds itself in a way. And, he was telling me, he's like, I'm 50 something. And I still look at my numbers on my tweets. He's like, I post something on Twitter and he's like, I'm not even a content creator. I don't really stream, And to me, I sat back and I realized, I said, it's not even a content creator thing. It's a human thing.
Yeah.
Viewers that watch streams, it's going through their head too, looking at their numbers and posting stuff. And it's draining people to be so focused on their numbers, no matter what it is. And this, not a little before this year, obviously, but this year's like the big change is just I've stopped paying attention to those things. I post whatever I want. If it does well, it does well. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't really care. If my views are low, I am very grateful for the ones that are there, and I focus on who's there. And I've noticed, like, once I stopped even glancing at any of those things, my content and my confidence have just gone through the roof. Like, I'm a new person not focusing on any of those things. You can be Kim Kardashian with millions of followers and beautiful and everybody knows your name, but everybody fucking hates you too. So no matter who you are on this earth, the president, the pope, Kim K, like, people aren't going to like you.
Yeah.
And you're going to find people that like you. So we need to stop revolving our lives on, why doesn't this person like me? Why did this person unfollow me? Like, stop caring about those things and it just gets so much easier. And I wish that it was easier to just tell people that and they do it, because it's something you really have to learn on your own. People could tell you all day to start treating things that way, and it's just something that you have to figure out on your own. Because
Well,
people told me that all the time, and it took me 4 years in content creation, 4.5 years to figure it out. So it's built
right.
into
Yeah.
everybody, no matter what size content creator, whether you're a regular human being, like whether it's just, your grandma on Facebook just posted a cute picture, you know what I mean? And like they're still sitting there probably looking at the same thing, like, well, why didn't this person like my post yet? Like, it's embedded in us. And it took a lot of healing from a lot of traumas for me to kind of get into that mindset where those things don't matter. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, how rich or famous you are, or who you are. Like, there's always going to be people in the world that don't like you. You can't please everybody. It just doesn't work that way. You can't make everybody happy. Not everybody likes the same things or acts the same way. Like, I'm very brutally honest. And let me tell you, to be
Yeah.
my friend, bless your souls, all of you, is a lot, because I am very, and I know I need to work on my tone and how I convey things, because sometimes it comes off really aggressive and it comes off mean, but to me it's more like I care. So this is why I'm going to say this, like, okay, you're doing something that bothers me. I'm going to tell you what bothers me, because let's fix it, because we're friends. And I will tell you something, and I've seen a lot of people, it pushes them away and they are gone pretty quick. But a lot of people understand who I am and how I am, so they get that. They know it comes from a place of love. They know that I mean a lot when I do it. I have like a lot of friends that could sit there and say, Tay's been really harsh with me, but for good reason.
Yeah.
Once they sit back and be like, it was out of love that she said those things. It was out of care. And I know that's why a lot of people maybe don't like me that don't know me, because that's what they see. They see what's on the screen and how I talk to people in my chat or my friends and whatnot. And I guess if you don't know us or how we all are, it kind of, I guess, looks a different way to other people. You know what I mean? They would see it as aggressive or mean or I'm a bitch, and it never is that way.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing that's kind of been to swallow for me, is just like, this is who I am, my personality. But I've built a community over time that gets me for that personality, for being blunt, and that they can stick around and, I don't know, I guess, help each other. Like, I'll call people out on their shit, but I fully expect to be called on my shit too.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. Like, just because I sit there and call everybody else doesn't mean nobody has a right to call me out. I totally expect it. I have been out of hand more than once. Nobody's perfect. We're
No.
all human being. Everybody makes a mistake. I'm sure everybody, that's watching right now has probably done something in the past or said something in the past to be quote unquote canceled.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think that these days the problem with that is very, um, it's problematic because everybody's so quick to cancel somebody, but not quick enough to give somebody a chance to learn. Like when I was younger, I said things that I probably shouldn't say that I had those were learned things. I had to learn that those things weren't good or it wasn't right. You know what I mean? Just you learn and you grow. And if everybody's so quick to cancel somebody or I understand holding accountability, but these people come with pitchforks and like
Oh,
fires, and it's terrifying. And you can only feel for the person they could feel sorry and feel bad, but like, what are you going to do? Nobody's giving you a chance to
yeah.
learn. Nobody's giving you a chance to grow because those are things that take time. You can't expect somebody to grow and change right away when they've made a mistake. It takes time. It's something that's learned.
Tell me, you say you tell it as it is. So, is there anything that you don't want to put out there before
I'm
I
very
answer that
known
question?
for putting all my shit on the table. All of it. Like all of it's out there. So it is, there's nothing I'm scared to talk about. There's nothing that is treading a line, you know. Maybe a year or two ago there's stuff that I wouldn't have been able to talk about, but it takes a while, a couple of years of healing and then
Yeah.
that stuff becomes, a good story to tell to
You completed a big task along this way. How long have you been sober? And congratulations for that.
1 year, and it'll be 3 months on the 20th.
Also, kind of curious, when did you find out that I mean, did you always know that you may had a problem, or when did you find out you had a problem with alcohol?
I mean, I've pretty much always known. I started drinking when I was really young. I was probably about 16 years old in high school when I started drinking. And it was kind of, alcoholism runs in my family. My mom was an
Oh,
alcoholic, my father was an alcoholic, and it just ran in the family. It's just you'd start drinking, you can't stop. And I've tried to quit quite a few times, and in my mind, I think about the one time that I tried to quit when I was on Mixer, and I think I made it 8 months. And then I caved and I went right back to it. And sometimes like when you are an alcoholic and you go through those things, you kind of forget a lot of the things that revolve around that. So I actually was on my Facebook the other day and I saw a thing from like I don't even know, it was like a long time ago. It was like 9, 10 years ago, and it was like one of those the memories that you never want to see
hmm.
pop up on your Facebook, and you're like, oh Jesus, so
And of
embarrassing.
course they
Why?
bring them out too.
Yeah.
I
So
think I think Facebook like deep dives into your like hidden
yeah.
past, and it's like, here you go.
Oh, it's terrible. And you see it and you're like, oh, geez, glad we've grown from that. But like, I had seen like a long time ago because my mom was in the hospital and she almost passed away
Oh,
from drinking. And it was a post from when that happened a couple years ago. And it was just, I'm quitting drinking today. And you'd think, your mom almost dying is a really good reason to quit. And coming from an alcoholic, I promise you, you are not ready to quit until you're ready to quit. Not when somebody tells you to quit, not when something traumatic happens, like when you're ready. Like that's when it happens. And the one thing I learned about being an alcoholic and a content creator at the same time is everybody's quicker to judge you than to reach out for help. So
yeah.
people will talk shit about you behind your back or say, Tay was drunk and nasty and she said this. And everybody's kind of just willing to talk amongst themselves instead of, really sit back and go, she's drunk every night. She's blacking out. You'd think somebody would be like, hey, you have a problem and reach out. But the one thing I learned is people would rather point fingers and use it as something against you
Yeah.
than help you. And that's the saddest part about being in the spotlight and being in, this type of environment is sometimes people just pretend to care. They don't actually care. Now, I had friends reach out. I don't want anybody to think like, oh, I had people reach out. I had, one of my good friends, Brightest Day, he reached out and said, I know you have a problem. I know you need to quit, but you're the only one who can make you quit or want to quit. And it was something we had talked about and it was something we had conversed and that he was worried about me and he would always reach out to check on me, and there was a few others that would do it as well. But a majority of the time, the one thing I saw was people just used it against me or turned it against me or used it to spew bad things about me instead of check on me or ask me if I was okay. I've heard rumors that I've, done drugs or whatever, which is, listen, I'm a stoner. It happens. It's in my emotes. I advertise it, it's medical here. And, that's my thing. That's as far as I've gone when it comes to drug use. And to me, when I had heard people saying that I had done hard drugs, it affected me. I had a cousin that passed away from a heroin overdose.
Wow.
Drugs has never been a thing for me. I've always been heavily against everything. And it was a hard pill for me to swallow when I heard people coming up with crazy, blatant lies like that,
Wow.
dealing with an overdose in the family and whatnot. And just, it was always something that I was so against growing up in high school, whatever. It's just, that was a hard pill to swallow. And at that time, I said the same things. I was still an alcoholic at the time, and I wasn't looking for help. But my big thing was like, you all think that I do these hard drugs and you're all spreading these nasty rumors, but nobody's reached out to say, hey, why are you doing those hard drugs? Are you
Yeah.
okay? Like, and if anybody would have reached out to me and said, I could have literally been like, I've never even touched that in my life. You know what I mean? Like, if people would just come to me, I could straight up tell them, like, hey, that's not who I am or not how I deal. But that's when I started to see it, because at the time I hadn't seen, the alcoholism thing. Not until you heal and you're on that sobriety journey can you see the things that people have done. I've been sober for over a year and my eyes have opened up to a lot that I didn't see when I was an alcoholic. There's a lot of people that stopped coming around when I went sober because they could no longer take advantage of me. And they could no longer manipulate me. I had a lot of people, that use that to their advantage. I had somebody that was very close to me, that was very close in my community, and they manipulated me into a lot of things with my alcoholism and used it against me and used it to gaslight me and make me feel like I was the problem. And it took until I went sober and that person was no longer in my life. That person had actually put me through a traumatic event that caused me to go into a spiral where maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I
Oh,
survived an
wow.
attempt, and that opened my eyes to a lot. After my survived attempt, I was upset that I had survived, and I spent the 3 months after that just drinking until I couldn't see every night. Um, and it was to the point where I one day sat there and I was like, okay, it's I continue drinking or I'm not going to make it. Like it was a life or death thing at that point in time. Like it was like, okay, I almost didn't survive once. Like if I keep going down this path, I'm not going to make it again. And that was kind of my big eye opener that I needed to quit. And I decided to go sober, and it's been the easiest time ever. Like any other time I tried to quit before that, it was very hard. It was a struggle. You would think about it or whatever. It's never even crossed my mind in the year and two whatever months that I've been sober that I wanted to drink. No matter what, I've been evicted from an apartment. I've gone through breakups, and never once have I wanted to pick up a bottle. But that's because I
Good.
was ready this time.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how did you get any help for it, or did you just
No,
decide wake up one day and
it
just
was
said, I'm done?
just, that's it. I was done. I had I think I had two beers in my fridge, and I cracked them open and I drank them, and then it was about midnight, and I was like, okay, at midnight, this is when I stop drinking. These are my last two beers in my fridge. I'm gonna drink these, and then that's it. And I quit cold turkey, and I'll have non-alcoholic beers, if I go out with some friends to fit in, or if I'm at a convention, or for the holidays, but it never crosses my mind that I want to drink or I want to go back to that life. Like this is something that's for real, and it's for the rest of my life, and it's important that it stays that way because it's something that it really is an addiction and people don't realize that.
Yeah.
I could be like, oh, one beer for the holiday will be great. One beer turns into 4 more months of binge drinking.
Yep.
So a lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize that.
So, what do you think? Was it content creating that has helped you, streaming, being with your community and everything else? Is that something that has helped you stay sober, or is there something else that keeps you that way, keeps you sober?
I think that, and it's crazy, but every single event that has happened has led up to the sobriety, including, meeting the person that put me in a traumatic place to put me where in that spot. If it wasn't for that happening, I don't know if I would have ever gone sober. So that person might have absolutely destroyed me and, you know, put me through a really traumatic part of my life. But if I didn't experience that, I would have never had my eyes open to the fact of I need to stop. And the bad the bad part of the content creation helped me quit. and my friends and my community kept me going. Like I have my good example right now. I'm going to use my really good friend, Frigid Phoenix. He actually, congratulations, by the way, just hit 1 year sober.
Oh, nice.
He went sober after me because he saw what I had done. And he saw that I made it look easy and I had talked about it and I had talked about my struggles and my traumas and, why I had gone sober. And it kind of, woke him up to he wanted to also go sober. And he's been vocal about his journey as well. And the both of us have, like I said, he's like 2 months behind me, I think. That's it.
Wow.
But, to be able to see that I've helped other people, you know, go through things because I've talked about it, like it makes it that much easier. You could help one person and it changes your life because you're like, okay, well, I've talked about this and now these people feel comfortable talking about it or coming to terms with things that maybe that they didn't understand because they had never heard it vocalized. And that's why I'm so adamant about talking about, me being bullied, my alcoholism, sexual harassment, whatever I've been through. I'm very vocal about it. I've been vocal about it because somebody could be watching that their story resonates with you and you might make them sit there and go, oh my God, I'm not alone. And you might make somebody feel a lot better and not feel so alone as a lot of people do in situations like this. Alcoholism, sexual harassment. A lot of people feel cornered. They feel like they can't talk about it because they're going to get belittled, because these days you really can't. If you want to accuse somebody of sexual harassment, I, for one, know. On Mixer, I got shit on. I was told I was lying when I came forward. And it's because I came forward alone. I came forward months before all of the women grouped together and decided to, tell everybody their stories. And I had done my story 6 months prior. And nobody believed me. I was told I was lying, that I wanted clout, that I wanted likes, I wanted followers. And I got absolutely shit on the internet for
Yeah.
coming out about my story. And 6 months later, all of those people came forward about their stories. You know what I mean? And everybody believed them, even the ones that weren't telling the truth. You know, and
And
that was the hardest part is, I had somebody steal my story.
yeah.
Someone told my sexual harassment story in front of hundreds of people and everybody believed them. But when I told that story, nobody believed me. You know what I mean? I had another content creator use my sexual harassment for clout. That's how terrible
Oh,
people in
geez.
this industry can be.
Okay, so talking about that, talking about them using your story and stuff like that for clout, what do you think about the people that use? I mean, can you sniff out the BS on the in the tweets and the social media posts and everything else about people using mental illness or mental health as a clout chaser?
Sometimes
No.
you really can't. You know what I mean? So some of them are like easier, but I mean, that's somebody like me can sniff out the bullshit.
Mhm.
Now, the thousands and thousands of other people that are watching content creators like that, they don't see it. They're not sniffing it out. You know what I mean? They see what is thrown in their face, and that's positivity and happiness and, you know, not things like behind the scenes racism and whatever the fuck else some of these people are capable of.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because sometimes these stories that come out as these people are so mental health positive, but behind the scenes they do some of the darkest, craziest things. And it's crazy that that's just it's they know who to prey on basically,
Yeah.
and they know how to do it, and they know what kind of act that they need to put on to make it work. I don't know. It's exhausting. I don't know how these people do it. That's why I just get on camera, whether I'm in a bad mood or not, which, by the way, Shark Week just started, so the community knows. Bless your souls tomorrow for the stream. But like, what you see is what you get. If I'm pissed off on a day, maybe you don't talk and chat as much because I'm kind of angry today. Like, it's just, I'm not going to sit there and smile and laugh. I'm a human being. I have bad days. I snap when I shouldn't snap. Like, we're all human. When have is everybody perfect? Like, do you have somebody in your life that's bugging you and then you snap at them 1 minute because they've annoyed you for a second? Probably.
Yeah.
But because I do it on camera, I'm a bad person. We're all human
Yeah.
beings. I want people to see that I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? I'm not always smiles and giggles and having a good day. Sometimes I'm having a shitty day. And that's why I like people to know, like, it happens. We all have emotions and things don't always have to be positive. Like, I am a huge advocate for mental health.
All right, you say you're a big advocate for mental health. So does that mean it's just like the ones that take time out of their channel, like the first hour or whatever, and do mental health talks? Is that a good idea to bring, to open that up to people, I don't know, outside the community and stuff like that? Or is there a different way that you would do a mental health chat? I mean, this here's a mental health stream, but it's different. We're focusing on the individual person and not really the whole community. So what's your thoughts?
In a different way. I don't promote it and whatever. We have a channel in my Discord, that is
Mhm.
called Bad Days. And if somebody's having a bad day or they have something they want to vent about, that is a spot where they can go and they can talk about it and other people can talk with them about it and maybe help them feel better or maybe they can relate and talk about things or ask each other advice. And it's helped because that is the one thing I've noticed is there's a lot of people that want to talk about bad things that happen to them for attention.
Yeah.
And I'm sure out of context this will be a nice cancellation Taylor clip, but um there's a lot of people that will just go into every single chat and everything they say is something negative.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And that becomes their personality. If I see you in my chat and then six other people's chats and you've said the same negative thing in every single chat, and then you come back and do it tomorrow too, and then the next day, I see that.
Mhm.
A lot of people go to streams to escape those things, to escape those bad things. I knew I do. I
Yep.
know it helps me get away from my anxiety and my bad shit or my bad thoughts. Stream helps me get away from that. They're there to take me away from that. And I try to keep a lot of my negativity in a separate place. If somebody comes in and they're having a bad day, we're going to talk about it. But when it becomes so repetitive, it becomes unacceptable to a point because now it's taking a toll on you. And not only could it be taking a toll on you, but it could be taking a toll on all of your community members. And I think so many people are just so focused on me, 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 me. I'm the
Yep.
only one that exists. They forget about other people. And I'm not even just talking about content creators, it goes for viewers too. You know, Everybody is just so worried about their stuff. Sometimes they forget other people are going through stuff too. And I think having a place for everybody to talk about that stuff kind of makes it weed out the people that are doing it for attention. Because then
Yeah.
those people are doing it for attention and doing it looking for sympathy from somebody that's empathetic, you can catch on to it over time. I care so much about my friends and my community and the people that I meet that it drags me down. Like I feel too much sometimes. I feel like people will come in and start talking about something bad that happens to them and I feel like I feel it.
Yep.
Like I feel like if I feel it bring me down. I feel my mood go down because I feel for them.
No, I agree. I'm just like you. I feel for them, and I've noticed myself. It's like if I get a lot of people through the chat that are some of the other streams I stream on, and because I do stream on one stream that the organization I stream for does deal with mental health and stuff like that as well. So they'll come into the chat and start talking about some of their day, some of the negativity stuff that they've done. And I know they don't do it on purpose, but I get what you're saying.
I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is that we are sitting in front of a camera all day. We are putting ourselves out there. And the ones of us that aren't putting on an act, like we're being us, it's draining to try to help everybody. I don't know,
Yeah,
because I want to help everybody and I want to be there for everybody, but you can't pour from an empty cup sometimes. And I think for a
exactly.
long time I wasn't healed and I had a lot of my own stuff going on and I was trying to help everybody else. And that was destroying me.
Yeah,
And then it got to the point where I had to start taking care of myself and being a little selfish, which everybody needs to be a little selfish because that's how everybody in this world lives is about themselves. We need to do what protects our mental peace. So if you have don't feel bad about maybe banning a viewer that only comes in to say bad things, but they have nothing else to say to you. You know what I mean? Protect your mental peace. I think so many people are scared of getting canceled because, this person came in and said, oh, my mom died and then I banned them. You know what I mean? If it's a first time chat from a viewer and that's the first thing they say in my
yeah,
chat, honestly, I'm sorry, but I think it's a troll
yeah.
because we don't know each other like that. Why would that be the first thing you say? You're bringing, you know what I mean? Like, but if it's a viewer, absolutely come and tell me that. It's a totally different story. but we need to do what protects our mental peace. Is there something that, people say that bothers you? Let them know. And if it continues, ban them. They could literally say, I don't like the color purple. And I could be like, purple's my favorite color. Fuck you. Get out. Like, but I feel like so many people are scared to protect their mental peace. And it took me such a long time to say, I'm here for everybody, but I can only be here so much. I have
Yeah.
to protect me too. I'm important too. Because without me, we don't have the group that we have. We don't have the community that we have. I'm not the only one. I get offended when people come into my like Discord and they're like, "Hey Tay, how are you doing?" I'm like, there's a lot of other people here. You know what I mean? Like we're a family. Like don't just greet me, greet everybody. Ask how
Yeah.
everybody's doing. Like this is a group of friends. It's not just a you're here for me. We're here for each other and connections cuz so many people want friends or they want people to game with, but then they only want to talk to the streamer.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, why do you only want to talk to me but all these other people are reaching out and reaching a hand to you, but you don't want to take their hand. You only want the streamer's hand.
Yeah.
So do you really want friends or do you want a streamer friend? Like, and there's a lot of that. And there's a lot of people that think that way and act that way. And it gets hurtful as a content creator because sometimes it gets hard to tell who's my friend and who's
Oh,
not my friend, who's here, you know, just to get something out of me or whatever. Like, you don't know.
so tell us a little bit about. I know you went full time, so tell us a little bit about being a full time content creator. I mean, I know that's got to be totally mentally breakdown material. So give us your insights on being a full time content creator.
Then, and this is what I've been telling my community lately. As a full-time content creator, it's just real talk is that the only numbers I focus on are, how much money am I making? Because as a content creator and as a content creator that does this full time, money is always a struggle. It's never consistent. Sometimes you have a really bad month. Sometimes you have a good month that could make up for 3 months that were shitty. But a lot of people kind of forget that everybody wants to see their favorite content creator do what they do until that favorite content creator can't do it anymore because they don't have the means monetarily to do it.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people forget that, just like Netflix or Hulu or whatever, people subscribe to watch those things, subscribe to be entertained. You know, we're here to entertain you. And granted, I started as I'm doing this for friends, I'm doing this because I want to play video games. But when it becomes your full time job, you have no other choice but to look at the numbers
Yeah.
money wise. I have rent to pay, I have a phone bill to pay, I have a life outside of stream that I have to pay for. And if this is my current full-time job, you know, I have to be making enough. And I had been talking about that on stream the other day, and I had somebody actually message me and thank me for being vocal about that because they said, you know what, we never really think about it or see it that way. You know what I mean? Like we see you on camera and having a good time, and we just figure you make enough money because you're doing it. And they apologized to me and then they sent me $20 and I sat there and cried like a baby, like just because it meant so much to me. Like, $20 is a lot in the content creation world, you know what I mean? Like unless you're, because I'm not a small creator. I think that I'm doing well for
Yeah.
myself, especially after Mixer closed. I think that my stream is actually starting to get better and noticeably, and I'm really proud of that. But technically, I'm still a small creator when it comes to the paychecks that I'm receiving.
Yeah.
I'm not getting these crazy ad revenue things that the other content creators that are bigger get, where they're like, here's 10 grand a month if you run 9 minutes an ad, stuff an hour. Because if I was given that, my community would be like, Tay, we will watch those ads for you. I know they would. They would say, run 9 minutes, bitch, let's go. Like they would say, make your money. And they would totally do that for me. But I'm just not at that point where I can do those things.
Yeah.
So every single Prime sub, every single sub, every biddy, it means a lot to me. Anybody that actually sits through an ad and watches it the full way through, it means a lot. But I think so many content creators make it seem like money is easy that people kind of it doesn't cross their head how much we really do struggle
Yeah.
when it comes to that. Your partnerships and yeah, you could be partnered with all these companies, but how much are you making? You know what I mean? Those companies are there to help you out and give you extra revenue, but sometimes it can't be a consistent. Because if everybody in your community just bought the one thing that you're selling, you don't have any more of those to sell,
Yep.
or you're not going to keep selling them. Like, and I've been very vulnerable about that. And I think that money is not really something that everybody should talk about. But in this content creation career, I feel like a lot of people should start talking about it, because sometimes people just don't understand.
It's a
Some
business.
people just don't see it. Like right now, I've been doing this 5 years. It's my business. I'm a grown ass adult. If I don't make enough money, I'm gonna walk my happy ass over to a restaurant down the street and get a job. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I have a degree. I have never been fired from a job. Like, I got a good resume. I can go and work anywhere I want, probably. It's not, I want to like beg my community, for money so I can keep doing this. Like, if I can keep doing this, fuck yeah, I'm so excited. But if not, like, then I go and get a job and I
Yeah.
continue living my life. It's not a big deal for me. I don't want to beg my community for money, especially in an economy like this. I just fucking bought $8 eggs the other day and I almost
Oh, I
shit
know.
bricks. I mean, like, it's unaffordable to live, to eat, whatever. So I don't expect anybody to show me their money. I'm going to do this as long as I can. I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off. We've raised $30,000 for charity. We've busted ass. Like,
That's
I'll
good.
ride it till it falls off, And if it's somehow this is my year and it becomes a comfortable career for me, then I feel like I deserve that because I worked really hard for it. And if it doesn't, I've accomplished a lot more than people can say. And that's important. So no matter which way it goes, I'm happy.
So, what do you think about the ones that use mental health in a wrong way? Because there are ones out there that do it. They use mental health in a totally wrong aspect just to maybe, I don't know, clickbait. It's hard. I hate to say it, but it's out there. It's true. Um, what do you think about that?
I've noticed a lot of that in a toxic way of people baiting that they're quitting.
Yeah.
Like they'll be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I really tried, I'm quitting," and then 2 days later they're live again, and I'm like, "You just made like a whole post that got like 600 likes that said you were quitting, but now you're," and it's like, okay, never mind. But it's just like I've talked about my struggles, and I've said like, "Listen, we're struggling. This is what's going on. I'm doing my best to continue this." You know what I mean? It's never
Yeah.
been like, "Hey, I'm quitting," and like take a couple days off and then come back at it. Like if I'm struggling, I tell the community that I'm struggling, and that's that. Like I don't hide things from them. I'm not telling them I'm struggling because I'm looking for donations or I'm looking for subs. Like I tell them I'm struggling because we just have always talked about and been very open with things like that. I've
Yeah.
always been open about my relationship problems or, trauma that I've been through or my past, before I even started streaming. I've been always very open about that stuff. So why not be open about that? I don't know. I've always been just such an open book. Like, I don't know. I probably shouldn't be as open as I am because it bites me in the ass, but it's just who I am. I can't not. It's me.
Yeah.
Everything's
Oh,
on the table. It always has been.
okay. Let's switch gears a little bit. Okay, talking about community. Let's talk about a strong community. My thoughts are you would have to have a strong community to combat mental illness, burnout, anything like that that has to deal with all the dark sides of streaming. I know your community is real tight, real large. Tell us a little bit about your community.
Yeah, my communities, they call me Grandma Tay because I'm very. Did you eat today? Did you have your water? If I know somebody's driving home, I'm like, let me know when you got home safe. Like, I'm that person
Well,
that's
that's
like
cool.
always checking on everybody. But I'm always like a huge advocate about take care of yourself and take time. Like, I'm busting my ass right now, but I'm still giving myself 2 days off. I work out 2 hours a day, I stream 8 hours a day, but I still give myself 2 days off. So I have Thursdays to myself and I have Sundays to myself to do laundry or grocery shopping or just sit around on the couch and play Pokemon. Like, I have to have that time for myself
Yeah.
because any other day, I honestly, for the past month or 2 months, I haven't had time to breathe. Like, I'm literally, it's wake up, workout, shower, get ready, do an 8 hour stream. By the time the stream is done, it's already almost 9, 10 o'clock. I'm getting off stream, I'm having dinner, and then it's almost time to just get back in bed and do it again,
Yeah.
and it's exhausting. But that's why it's important that I've always had 2 days off. Even when I was doing 4 hour streams, 5 hour streams, I was still taking those 2 days off because I've always been an advocate of you're important. and you need to make sure you're rested. And if I'm sitting there streaming every single day and giving everything I have, yeah, I might be successful, but I'm going to burn myself out to where I'm not going to love it anymore.
Exactly.
And I've done that. I did that on Mixer. I mean, right now I have my passion back for streaming, but it took about 2 years. I mean, I would say my passion's been gone since Mixer closed. And I think even a little before that, it was going. Because everything that was going on Mixer there was a lot of things that sucked out the passion from you, from fake friends or people that were just not nice to you or whatever. It just wasn't fun anymore. And I was just doing it because it paid my bills, and that was it. And now I finally got that little pep in my step again, or I'm ready. I'm like, can't wait to go live every day. 8-hour streams are easy. Like, if I didn't have to get off and eat dinner, I'd probably be going 10 hours a day. Like, but I'm like, okay, I'm hungry. I know I need my food, so I'm going to end my stream. Like, we did 8 hours, we're good. But, it's a lot, and it pulls a lot out of you. And this is without me I don't even use TikTok. I'm not a make clips and do it on TikTok type person.
Yeah.
But I know once I can get used to this schedule, that's something that has to be in there, because that is another way that will help you succeed and be successful. It's just you got to find the time for it. And right now I'm kind of just putting my all into Twitch and my community, and we've been seeing growth, and we've been seeing a positive step forward.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. So not only like the game, I love the game. I have put a few goals in store for myself this year, and if I hit them, that would be awesome. But I don't do resolutions, I do goals, because it's
Yeah.
something that you can work towards, and it never really expires. You might not hit your goal this year, but you still set it for yourself, and you're still going to continue to try to hit it as long as you're still trying to continue that growth. I think that's what's important. When you're ready to throw in the towel, I think that's why so many people do it with resolutions. Set a realistic goal for yourself, something that's
That's
easy,
it.
something that's,
Yeah.
do I want to see, a little bit of a viewer growership here? Do I want to, like, for me personally, I want to get COD partner this year. I want Call of Duty to notice me. Like, that's my goal for this year, is I'm playing the game that I love and the game that started kind of my streaming career.
Mhm.
And I've fallen in love with it again. And, some of my old friends that used to come back around 4 or 5 years ago came back because I'm playing Call of
Well, that's
Duty
cool.
again. And so I just really want to embrace the fact that I'm loving that game and loving playing it. And I want them to notice me. And that's my goal for the year. It's a small one. Even if they like a tweet of mine, that could consider me noticed. Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
anything counts, just baby steps.
All right, so I fell into this when I first started streaming, and as a beginning streamer, you see the limelight of the affiliate programs. You see the bright shiny glitter of somebody wanting you, because we're all needing an acceptance. So getting in with these affiliates, these ambassadors, ones that want you to give you a discount code, give you this and that. Um, Tell me how you think about that, how that weighs on a beginner streamer's mental stability and maybe causing them to burn out. I
Well, I
fall into
think the
that.
beginner streamers are being targeted by companies like
Yeah.
that. Like, I've been vocal about a few predator companies that are newer companies, and they kind of just, anybody can work for them.
Mhm.
All you have to do is apply, and they give you a code.
Yeah.
And some of these companies we did research on, and some of them, they don't have a good reputation with the Better Business Bureau. You know what I mean? Like, if people did their research when looking into these companies, maybe they wouldn't make the decisions they do. A lot of these companies prey on smaller streamers because they're like, okay, well, if we get 1,000 streamers with, zero, even if they have zero viewers, that streamer that they bring on is going to buy their product,
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, I'm affiliated with this energy company, and then they buy the product. But, like, that's what happens. Like, there's like these energy powder companies that are all over Facebook, and they just take anybody and whatever, and people are
Yeah.
so quick to say, oh my god, I got affiliated with this company. And the one that comes to mind that drives me nuts is, no offense to any of my friends that are partnered with them in here, but I've been vocal about this, Dubby Energy. They just will
Oh,
take, it's anybody can apply, anybody can get it. They don't pay people, and it's a scam.
yeah.
It's a scam like anything else. You're given a code and you're selling their product. You're working for free. You're making them money. And there's a lot of companies out there like that it is, predatorial. where they're not making a lot of money, but they're selling the product, whether it's to themselves or to somebody else.
Yeah.
You have to sit down and you have to be more vocal with these companies and tell them what you want. What is in it for you?
Yep.
Because why should you do free advertising for them and put their product out there for them when they're not doing anything in return for you? The only thing you're doing is giving them free promotion. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's sad because, I was taken advantage when I first started. I partnered with a couple companies that I couldn't even remember their name if I tried right now. Because, I was a small streamer and I was so excited, like, oh my God, I only have like 5 viewers, but they want to work with me, so that's really cool.
Yep.
And you're so new to it, you just want to jump in. And I just wish that I had somebody like to mentor me through that, to be like, hey, maybe you should talk about it, or maybe you should look into it, do some research on it. But those are things that people don't really tell you. It just happens in this industry. It's a very predatory industry. I think a lot of people just forget their worth. Like
Exactly.
they forget that they're worth something, and they feel like, okay, well, this company reached out to me, so they want to work with me. So, but they forget that they're worth more than that. You're worth more than just free advertising for some company that doesn't give two shits about you. They partner with everybody. Like I see Rogue noticed in the chat. Rogue approached me. They've been in my DMs. I just ignored, because just how many of those energy companies can reach out? I worked with one energy company that's ended up being shit, and I left. So, like, for me, if I were to want to work with a company like that, it would be so that I get something out of it, and it would be a bigger company like Ghost Energy Drinks. They sell those bitches in the stores. It's a product that I've been using since before I was a content creator, with their protein powders and whatever. Like, that would be a product to work with that would benefit me, and a product that is like a bigger product. You really know what's behind it, you know what's going into it. A lot of the other companies are just, I mean, how many are there? There's so many of the powdered
Yeah.
energy drink companies.
There's
And
companies I didn't even know existed that's been around for a while.
yeah, and I'm sure they're great, and I know, a lot of people like to use them, and everybody's got different ones that they like, but for me, I just go buy a tub of Ghost at the store and call it a day. Like, you know what I mean? I work with two companies, and that's it. I work with Gamer Advantage and Ice Shaker. They're both very good to me. They have both done a lot for me. I mean, Ice Shaker, because I'm one of their best selling, partners, sent me this giant ass half-gallon water shaker, which is like $100 shaker for free, just to thank me for doing what I do. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of companies don't do that. You need to find companies
Yeah.
that realize, like, hey, you're doing stuff for us. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like Gamer Advantage, they take very good care of me, as does Ice Shaker. And I think that, it's important to be. I dumped a bunch of companies, and I've
Yep.
been asked to have a bunch of companies. And right now I'm just strictly these two, because I know they'll take care of me. I know they care about me, and I know, they care about the product that they're selling. And that's the difference. That's what I like about these companies, because I know for sure that that's how it is. More
But
pressures that aren't needed. I
yeah.
think when you start streaming, you really just need to go into it focused on just having fun.
Yep.
And, I was telling a couple friends the other day that streaming as a hobby is totally different than streaming as a career. Because when you stream for a hobby, you're just there, and that's it. When you stream as a job, you're there and you're doing your thing, but at the same time, you're praying that you're going to make enough to pay your bills. So you have those little bit of stresses that wouldn't be there if it was a hobby. And I always tell people, treat it as a hobby until you hit that full time, spot. Because then you're just going to stress yourself out and burn yourself out and get upset, and then you're not going to, it's going to affect your growth. So I think that everybody should treat it as a hobby until at the point of full time. Then
No.
start stressing about everything else.
Like I said, we're touching on some real subjects here tonight. So there's one subject I know. Relationships are very hard to do in the streaming world. And you just recently are coming out of a relationship. Was it due to streaming, long hours, grinding, and all that good jazz, or what happened there?
Um, no, this was fully me and my healing process.
Okay.
I think that I never properly healed from a lot of traumas from my past relationships, and it was causing a lot of me issues in the relationship that I was in. Because we met through gaming, we met through stream. I didn't know him before that. We met through content creation. So obviously he totally gets what I do. And I think that that's the hardest part about dating when you do what I do is because people don't understand it. I mean, some of the shit that comes out of guys' mouths that try to talk to me on my Facebook and shit, like that don't know my streaming world, I sit there just dumbfounded. Like I know. Like some of the shit that the guys say is just like, "Oh my god, a girl gamer?" And it's like I've
Yeah.
been gaming since I was 7, like 6 years old. Like it's just stereotypical, shit you don't want to hear as a girl
Yeah.
gamer, you know? And it's really hard to date if they don't get it. So like I feel like for me it was easiest to date people that I maybe met through the stream because they understood what I do, the ins and out, how I act on stream and everything like that. Like, because we're a bunch of dirty birds, I'd like to say. So we're very flirtatious with each other.
Yep.
Whether in a relationship or not, it's just we call each other hot and hype each other up. Like it's just how we are. So obviously they'd have to understand that, you know. And I think anybody trying to date doing this, it's hard, because I think if you date somebody that doesn't do content creation or doesn't do gaming, it's you're not giving them enough time or they don't understand or why are you gaming with these dudes or, why are you gaming with these people all the time? And it becomes a lot of a jealousy thing.
Mhm.
And because you're in front of a camera and because you're getting so much attention from other guys and girls and whatever, that's really hard for people to swallow. Like there are a lot of insecure men and women out there that can't handle dating someone in the limelight, like in the spotlight, somebody that's
Yeah.
on camera and that other people are watching or whatever. Like I get DMs all the time from people like of just shit you don't want to hear, like it's just, you ignore it, whatever, but it's just there's a lot of unnecessary attention or unwanted attention that is, like, listen, I'm a content creator because I like attention, obviously. I used to have color hair because I like attention. I have this giant, colorful Dr. Seuss tattoo because I like attention. Everybody knows Tay likes attention. It's necessary. But there's a different type of attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people put up with people not understanding boundaries. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm very I love you with my chat and vocal about how I feel. And unfortunately, in this world, I saw recently on Twitter that there was somebody being stalked by one of, their viewers because
Seen that.
they were an I love you type of person to their community. And that person took it as they were speaking to only them.
Yep.
So you do have the the scary part of the internet always out there where you could just mean it like I love you, I love to all my friends, and then have somebody take it the wrong way or take it personally, or you're really nice to everybody in the chat and then somebody DMs you and they're like, well, you're so nice to me in chat, so you like me, don't you? And it's
Yep.
puts you in an awkward situation. But there's so much of that that goes around in this space, and that makes dating hard on its own because you have all of that unwanted attention, and then you just have people being nice to you. And yeah, I don't know, content creation and dating is a whole who it's difficult because they need to support you. I've seen a lot of cheating in this content creation world,
Mhm.
of people that are married, have kids, and cheat. And it happens. And I think that a lot of that stems from their partners not understanding or not being supportive of their hobbies, I guess you would say. Like, okay, well, my wife doesn't support me doing this and she doesn't support what I love, so, you know, I'm going to look for that elsewhere. You see a lot of that
Yeah.
in this world. When I went to my first convention, the amount of married people that I witnessed cheating was just like I was beside myself. Like I was just like, "Oh, all right, this is what we're doing here." Like, I don't know, like it wasn't what I expected, and I guess it threw me off, and it throws you off when you see people that you looked up to or you looked up to their relationship and you see those things happen, and it sucks because I'm a big hopeless romantic. I got love is real tattooed on me. I got we are the lovesick on my arm. I got one on my stomach. Like I'm a hopeless romantic. So when you have to sit around and you just see it around you, you kind of just, I guess, feel defeated or feel like, I don't know. There was a good part in my life that I was just convinced that you couldn't find somebody loyal these days because of how much in this content creation world I had seen around me or I had been involved with or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm not innocent, you know what I mean? I was manipulated into dating a married man, you know, and I've been very open about it and honest because that was, part of the trauma that I went through that caused me to stop drinking. And I was very vocal about the manipulations that I had gone through with that. And it's it's around a lot more than I think people understand. And it's a hard pill to swallow when you're surrounded by it.
So a little bit of thing, another thing about mental health or the mental strain on a content creator is, all about the Twitter drama. I mean, everybody's seen it. You've seen it. Everybody's seen it that has a Twitter account. And it seems like it's either political drama or it's Twitch drama. Have you been caught up into any Twitter drama or any type of social media drama?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't, it depends
I
on what
want
you
to be.
consider Twitter drama. I haven't been canceled yet.
Yeah.
But like
No.
I feel like there's, I'm the very person, I'm not scared of screenshots. Nobody has anything on me, so I have no problem running my mouth on Twitter because I'm not scared. I have nothing to be scared of. I've never done anything. Like if somebody shows you a screenshot of me talking about somebody, it's probably talking about the pain they caused.
Yeah.
And there's a difference about being hurt and then being mean. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are just mean and they just say mean things about people. If I'm talking to somebody about something that you did to hurt me, like that's not bullying, that's not mean, it's not, I think it's just me vocalizing my feelings. Like everybody's got to talk to somebody. You know what I mean? Like if somebody is going to fuck me over, I need to tell somebody about it. Like I can't
Yeah.
bottle it up forever. I need advice. I'm going to talk to, somebody no matter who it is. Like somebody close to me that I trust, obviously. You can't trust everybody sometimes, and we end up opening up to the wrong people sometimes, but
Yeah.
we're only human. We can't figure everybody out. I mean, like, what I said to somebody else was like, different things offend different people,
Yeah.
and listen, I'm easily offended by certain things, you know what I mean? Like, and I get that for me what I've been kind of saying is like somebody could come in to chat and maybe say something that offends me and I kind of let them have it, but it's kind of like okay, sorry I offended you, let me remember this and like not do it again type thing. Like
Yeah.
I think that everybody, I could offend, I'm sure I do offend a lot of people, and if somebody came to me and told me that I said something they didn't like or I offended them, I would apologize, because it doesn't matter what it is. Like somebody literally called me a Pokemon trainer the other day and I got offended and I went on for a thing. But it was just because like for me, every time the person came into chat, they called me something else. It
Oh,
was like, "Oh, you're a doctor. Oh, you're a Pokemon trainer. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that." And it's like, "Can't I just be Tay?" Like I
yeah.
grew up feeling like I couldn't be myself and that's why I do what I do here. And to me, it bothered me and it offended me and I let them know why. You know what I mean? And maybe they took it a little harsh, but like to me, it was a small thing and everybody would probably be like, "Yo, why is she so offended by that? That's so crazy. I can't believe she just popped off at this kid for that." But I have my reasonings as to why it bothered me, because of my background or my past or my trauma. And so I've just kind of, I think that everybody's going to make mistakes and I think everybody's going to offend somebody at some point in time and that we just need to, apologize and learn from those moments and then move on. You know what I mean? Like one thing that offends me isn't going to offend anybody else. That's just because of my personal background or my personal issues that I've had is the reason why it bothers me.
So tell us, after all the stuff that we've talked about so far tonight, what do you feel is some of the big game changers that have made you who Taylor is today?
I mean, like the main stuff is, I mean, sobriety obviously is a
Mhm.
big game changer. Um, Healing was a big thing for me. I had to really heal and learn to love myself and like learn to enjoy time with myself, I guess. Um, it was like it was a really it's been a long healing journey. I'm not even going to say I'm done with it. I am still on my healing journey. Um, but that is something that I hope everybody heals from their traumas. Honestly, like I don't even know because I probably sound like a crazy person because I'm a totally different person now. And it's not even just the sobriety. It's all of the healing that I've been through. Um, the not focusing on any numbers when I stream is a huge, difference in my personality or my confidence. Like not focusing on any of those things has changed my mindset for the better. And I just think all those things put together just has completely changed who I am. Like people say that people can't change, but I feel like I am proof that that's not true.
I mean, if you guys want to see how much she's changed from the very first interview we did to where she's at now, all right. So this is the very first did.
Oh my god.
You know that was Tay 2 years ago, but
God, I
no,
look different.
I
That's so
know,
weird.
right?
I did lose a lot of weight. You can't notice until you put the two next to each other, and then you're like, well.
Yeah, and that's what it is. We grow. We
Yeah.
grow as a person. We grow, and life changes us.
Even my demeanor, I've been like smiling this whole interview, and you can see how
Yeah.
nervous I am in the other one, like all timid and like playing with my hands, like
If you guys have any questions for her, feel free to. I guess Karnik said he was. Is he still here?
let them rip.
If you got who was the first one on the list that you have down? Sailor Crows. What is your question? If you're still here, I think everybody's still here.
The suspense is killing me.
Oh, just put it in the chat. The command's not working. Stream Elements broke. Oh, H Bad Dad don't have a question. Okay.
Everybody's like, what do I ask her? She tells us everything.
um, there we go. Oh, it does work. Awesome.
Oh, I see that. That's cool.
I know, right? I was like, oh, can I do that?
Whoa. Love that.
So, what is something you know now that you wished you knew when you started streaming?
Oh, I wish people told me how hard it would be with friendships. Like it's streaming's a revolving door and people come and people go and you'll see somebody in your chat every day for a year and then they just disappear and you never hear from them again. Or you have people that you thought were friends that aren't really your friends and you find out that they were mean behind your back or whatever. Like I just wish people would tell me to be prepared for the heartbreak that you will go through. I mean, unless you're a heartless fucker, which excuse me, but there's a few of them out there that really don't give a shit. But I mean, for me, I was always here to build friendships and connections. So when I don't see somebody for a while, I notice. And it used to bother me. It still does sometimes when it's like people that are close to me, because that's just who I am. I can't get rid of that.
Yeah.
That's just a part of me that's always been very caring and loving and this big dumb heart of mine. It'll always bother me, but I just wish somebody kind of prepared me for the mental toll that it takes that people come and go.
Okay. Um, who's next, Karnik? I'll have to. I'll have to give him some compensation for this. I didn't expect him to like. I just wanted him to like make sure everything went cool, but I appreciate it since my mods are like H Bad Dad. I think he said he was just trying the command out. I don't think he said that. But if you have a question, H Bad Dad, I'm sure you do. I
See,
seen you guys playing
noodle.
together today.
Yeah. Me and Bat Dad played yesterday.
Sweet. I've known Bad Dad for a little
Hopped
while now.
right in his backpack.
I'll give Karn a half sandwich as compensation. um, but if Age Bad Dad didn't have one, who is up next? Or he might be typing. I'm good. Okay. Cup of Noodles. I love that name. What is your question? Should have like the Jeopardy theme song. Dun,
Right?
dun, 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 dun. No, because I probably get copyrighted. Um,
Oh, Geek. I did.
Facebook
I would
Dream and Geek.
email Geek when she was deployed to make sure she was okay and check on her,
Oh,
because that was the only way that I could have contact with her when she was on the ship was to email her. So I would just email her and make sure she was okay.
well, Geek, thank you for your
Oh.
service. See if this will work again. Oh, wrong one. That is so cool. It's amazing what little things amaze me. What is something that you wish you could improve on?
Oh my God, something I wish I could improve on. My words. I'm really bad with words and I'm really bad at how I portray my feelings. I am a person that feels too much, whether it's happy, sad, or angry, and everything comes out wrong. It comes out so aggressive and mean, and I know I don't mean it that way. Like, it's the one thing that bothers me the most about myself is like, I don't know how to talk properly. I don't know how to talk to people properly. I don't know how to process my words or my feelings or my thoughts and put them out there. And a lot of the time they come out wrong and I care so much, but it comes out like I don't care and it kills me inside, and that's the one thing that I'm working to improve, and I have been for a while, but it's really fucking hard because I have such a mouth on me and I don't think before I speak. It just goes and I can't get rid of that yet. I'm trying.
Yeah, I have that problem. Words are very hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, words are hard for me. Yes.
Communication. I mean,
I'm great at communicating. It's how I communicate
yeah,
that's the problem.
that's me. But no,
Ugh.
you were talking about it's just like I feel bad a lot of times because it's like I've met so many people through doing this, and it's just like I don't get a chance to like hang out with them like I did in the beginning, and it makes me feel bad. It's like I mean I know they say no, it's fine, we understand, but it still makes me feel bad that I don't get to like hang out in the streams and stuff like that a lot. I mean I've hung out in your streams here lately because you've been on at the same time that I've been around the computer, but um, there was a few of them that I try to do. Um, I call them flybys. It's like if I'm at work, because you can only pull up one on my phone. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm here. Hi, how you doing? I'm flying by. So
Yeah, that was me today. Like I was trying to get ready for the interview, so I don't have a lot of time to see my friends' streams anymore. Like a lot of the time I'm streaming and I'll tab them up in the background
mhm.
while I'm live so I can't watch. But like today was my day off and I'm like, okay, let me cram in as many friends as possible. So I'm like on my phone and I'm like, all right, so I got Pawsy open for a little bit. I'm gonna watch her and hang out with her for a bit. Okay, cool. And then I was like, all right, now I'm gonna curl my hair and I'm gonna watch Dirty. So then I put on Dirty's stream, and let me tell you, that man had me in tears trying to do my makeup. Do you know how hard it is to do your makeup when you're crying from laughing? What a mistake. I should have switched it. I should have done Dirty and then Pawsy when I was doing my hair. But
All right. Was there anybody else? Somebody else have a question? This is pretty cool. This is the first time the questions actually come through. Mistakes were made. Just dirty luck. You're next. Shoot us your question. While we're waiting for them to type in, I do want to I do thank you all for showing up for Tay tonight. And I also thank you for all the love and support you give in this channel. Like I said, this is everybody else's channel. It's not mine. I'm trying to make it to where, um, yeah, you can if there, yeah, just if there's nobody else. Yeah, Sailor, you can put your next on the list. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, I kind of like lost my train of thought. If you could go back, what would you tell yourself not to share?
ooh. Oh, that's a hard question.
We do the hard questions here.
I
It's very hard though.
I think that I would tell myself not to share my experience with my ex from the UK because I think that experience, when I shared
Ooh,
a lot about that, some someone used all of that information to uh manipulate me for a few years after that situation based off of how I had vocalized the first one. So honestly, probably that. Like I have no
yeah.
problem sharing anything, so that's a really hard question for me to answer. But like maybe I wouldn't have shared so much about that because then I would have maybe not ended up in other predicaments. But like I don't know, that's hard because everything happens for a reason. And if other predicaments didn't happen, I wouldn't be sober. So for me that's very hard. I'm very if it happens, whether it's good or bad, it's happening for a reason. It's either to teach you a lesson or to show you how to grow, and you can choose to learn from the lessons that you're given, or you can choose to let them destroy you. And I spent a lot of years letting my lessons destroy me instead of growing from them. And that was my biggest mistake was not growing from them. I was just letting them destroy me.
Ooh, a clippable moment. Thank you. See, that's what I do. I take excerpts and I make those kind of things. For people that it might sound weird or stupid to a lot of people, but when it comes to those type of comments, when somebody just runs across it in a clip or something like that, you'd be surprised how many comments I've got off of just the little clips. Um, Inglewood, what's up, buddy? Who is next? Does anybody else have a question? If not, um, Sailor Crow, I think, and then Vital. Just make sure if you guys are first time here, if you're not part of her chat or her community, and you guys are rolling through for the first time, just keep your questions clean, please. All right, Sailor Crow, what you got now? What is some advice you would give small content creators besides focusing on numbers?
Ooh. Well, from me, be yourself. Be yourself because you never have to worry about slipping up. You never have to worry about, like I said earlier, I would rather be disliked for who I am than loved for who I'm not. So it feels a lot better when you grow a community that loves you for you.
Yeah.
And how good does it feel to become successful being you? I feel like I don't know how other creators could feel good about themselves being so loved, but they're loved because of the act that they put on. I don't know. I just couldn't go to bed at night being happy with myself, knowing I was putting on an act and that's why people like me. I'd rather people like me, for my loud mouth or my bitchiness or me yelling at the left turn NASCAR. Like, I just want people to like me for me. So honestly, I just think for smaller creators, if you want to be happy, I think just be yourself and it takes so much pressure off. And then you find people that like you for you, and then you build real friendships and connections. Like, you guys are my lifetime friends, and I've met a lot of you multiple times. And if I ever get married, you guys are coming to the wedding. Like, this is, you know, you guys are my friends, and I've built connections by being myself. I would have never built the connections being who I'm not. I would be surrounded by people that I can't stand, probably. So.
Very good. That is, I love that. That some of these things are resonating with me. It's like, oh yeah, I feel that. All right. Vital has one. Where would you like to travel and your favorite food? That's two questions.
Okay. I like it because Vital knows me very well, so he threw a food question in there for me. I love talking about food on my stream. Okay, so where would I like to travel? So I'm actually really scared of flying. I hate airplanes. Fun fact about Tay. I don't fly. um, Another part of what made, a long distance relationship very hard, being one that I will not get on a fucking plane unless I have somebody physically there to hold my hand. But if I could, all fears aside, if I could get on a plane and travel anywhere, I would go to the UK because I have built so many
Oh
connections with my
yeah.
friends from the UK. Like, I just want to meet them and hang out with them and, spend a week with my UK friends and have them show me around, their cities and their place because like, when I say I built a lot of UK connections, like a lot of them. Like, I want to say half of my community or my friends are from different parts of the UK and Europe, and I feel like that would be something that I'd really want to do, is go see my friends over there and explore that. And favorite food? Oh,
Now the hard question.
that's a really hard question for me. Probably would have to say just like Mexican food in general. I mean, you can tacos, burritos, nachos, fajitas, like you give me anything Mexican and I am so happy.
I agree. I love some Mexican food. I mean you can't not love it around here. It seems like every food corner is a
Yeah.
Mexican food restaurant. Either that or a chicken place. We have so many chicken places around here. uh, Troll and Timmy, what do you got? Yeah, we have so many chicken places. They finally opened up an Italian restaurant next to us, but it's so freaking expensive.
I had better Mexican restaurants when I was in South Florida. Central Florida's more yee country, so sad about it.
Trolling says, "What is the best advice you got on what subject? Just in life in general, or?"
Just life in general. What's the best advice I got? Oh, that's hmm. I think the best advice I have for anybody for any part of life is to focus on yourself and do things that make you happy, because I don't know, life's really short. Tell people you love them, do the things you want to do, be with the people you want to be with. You know what I mean? Like it's too short. I've lost a lot of friends in the past years um from the craziest things. And I wish I could have said I loved them to a lot of them, and now they're not around for me to say that anymore. And that's why I love you with my community. And I say it so much because you don't know when it's the last time you're going to talk to somebody, so just do the things that make you happy, do the things that make the people around you happy, and just really enjoy those moments with each other and enjoy every single moment you have. Like today I started working out and I walk 5 miles like 5 days a week. And I went on my walk today and it was rainy earlier, but when the clouds kind of went away, there was just a moment where I just stopped and I looked up at the sky and I just stood there and I stared at it. And it was just beautiful. And I took it in, because when's the last time, you really just sat out in nature and just took it in? Like you just really enjoyed everything that was surrounding you. It had been a long time since I did that. I work out every day, but I never just stopped to look around and enjoy it. And today I did, and I think it's important to look around and enjoy things.
All right, Crow, what do you got? He's got one more. What got you into streaming? Ooh, that is a good one.
Ooh, okay. So what got me into streaming is Chris and I were dating like 5.5, 6 years ago. I bought him an Xbox for his birthday or Christmas, one of the two, don't remember. And we would play like PUBG with our buddies on it sometimes, but the Xbox came with a little app called Mixer, and it was really cool. So, Chris would go to work and I'd be off work, and I was always really scared to play PUBG by myself because it got me really nervous and shaky and I don't like it. So I would open up the little Mixer app on Chris's Xbox and I would start watching streamers, and I found streamers like Still Kyle, Magnetron, Glitchy, and Wesley Shark, and I fell in love with their communities and their personalities. And they watching them, it was just like it was so cool. I was like, look at all these friends they have, and they have all these people to game with, and like look at how loving their community is with each other, and they're so cool. And I just watched them, and they, really made me want to stream. And still, I'm friends with all of them still, but like, me and Still Kyle are still very close. And to this day, I always tell him like, I wouldn't be where I am today without you. Like, if it wasn't for you, but I wouldn't be streaming. So basically, I bought Chris an Xbox, found Mixer, found some communities, watching on his Xbox. I wanted to start streaming, and I went out to Best Buy. I bought an Xbox and I bought a little camera, Logitech, and I put it on my TV and I plugged it into the back of the Xbox and I went live on Mixer. And now we're here.
See, and I think it's kind of funny because because Xbox was the only one that had the streaming platform attached to it at that time.
Hmm.
So it's
So I,
just
I had never like been on Twitch. I had never really
yeah,
watched another person play video games. And then, Mixer was just right there on Chris's Xbox, and I'm like, this is cool. What is it? And you see all these people, and then it's like, okay, well these guys have tattoos, so obviously I'll get along with them. So that's what drew me to their streams was like, okay, tattooed dudes that listen to heavy metal, right? We'll be friends. And, I fell in love with it and I wanted to be a part of it. And I went and I took my hard earned money from my waitressing job and bought an Xbox and I bought a camera. And I think the next day I went for a test stream and played Call of Duty, and now it's history.
and the rest is history.
Yeah.
But I do want to give big applause to Tay for doing this and growing over the last 2 years. Like I said, for those that you missed out, we did show the 2 year gap between the first time she was on the show to now, and there is a lot of growth, and she is only going to get bigger. I can see it, just by the way she understands herself now. She understands her limits. She understands where she wants to go. One last question I have is, where do you see yourself in the next year? What is a goal that you have set for yourself in the next year
I've
besides
already
becoming
manifested this. I am
besides
going to
becoming a college
be
partner?
I'm going to be a full-time comfortable content creator career. That's what I'm
There we go.
manifesting this year, is that I can do this comfortably. I've been doing it full-time for 5 years, but I've been living on the skin of my teeth. I've been evicted from an apartment. It's been a struggle, but this is the year I'm manifesting being able to do this full-time comfortably so that I'm not stressed about money and I can enjoy it, pay my bills, and still do what I love and help the people that I love.
Sweet.
Right now it's like bills are paid, maybe I can get dinner one night, like a nice dinner. Like that's where it's at. Like comfortably is like I just want to be able to pay my bills, and like if I had a long night streaming, would have the means to order myself a $10 Taco Bell meal. You know what I mean? But like at this point, it's just I'm living my dream and I'm doing this full time, but at the expense of I don't get any fun time. There is no fun Tay time. There's no extra, fun stuff. There's barely room for groceries. Like it's just saving every single dime and doing my best to keep my head above water.
But I do appreciate you guys being here, and I love you all for being here, and I love you all for loving Tay, because she is a wonderful person, and she has a lot to give to her community and to the world. I am so stoked that she has accomplished so much, that she is a better person. Like I said, we did a 2 year review of what she was 2 years ago compared to what she is now, and you can see a massive change, a massive positive change. She's overcome so much, and I hope listening to what we have talked about tonight will reach out and help you, or maybe help you reach out to somebody else is struggling with these demons that we all struggle with as human beings, not just creators, but human beings. And make sure you get all the help. The links and the numbers and everything else to all the information that we have about mental illness, suicide, and stuff like that will be in the description of the videos. But thank you. If you like what you see, please give a like, a thumbs up wherever you see this at. And if you're listening to it on the podcast, on the iHeartRadio, Amazon, Anchor, and Spotify, um, give us a download, give us a like on there. We appreciate it. All the reach goes back to the creator. We're trying to help build a platform for the creators to expand their reach. So I appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next go around. I'm Rebel. Peace out.